Welcome to It's Your Time to Shine. I'm your host, Christoff J Weihman, America's favorite five-star customer experience expert, international speaker, #1 best-selling author, and the creator of the Ultimate Speaker Competition. I am super excited that I have with me today a very good friend, our special guest, Mr. Larry Steinhouse. I want to welcome Larry to the program. Larry, we had a little hiccup. You and I...
we did the whole interview and you didn't record it.
There we go, people. So if you were waiting with bated breath, if you were on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook and saying, what's going on? Where they at? Where they at? It's coming up. It's giving you the countdown, the alert. And then it didn't show up. My fault.
My mother called me and said, I've been waiting for this interview for her entire life. And she said, she can't wait anymore. She has to go eat lunch.
Well, she'll be able to get it on the replay. My friends, things like this happen in life, and you roll with it. What do? You admit your failure and you move on. So I would like to share with us just a little official introduction, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of meat and potatoes. Larry Steinhouse, CEO of Investor Schooling. Larry is a long-term investor who knows his stuff. That is absolutely true. As a coach, he has helped people learn new ways of making any business more profitable. His marketing skills are top-notch, both online and offline. He specializes in buying properties with little or none of his own money. His favorite subject or method is subject to. He has even bought houses using credit cards. As a co-founder of Investor Schooling, Larry teaches his students how to make real money and build real wealth. He guides them through the process of searching for, buying, rehabbing, and then renting or selling real estate. Another favorite pastime of Larry is teaching stock options trading. A few years ago, he created a set of rules for trading options, and following them, it has proven very profitable for him. He has earned almost $750,000 in just a 3-year period and has made close to $2 million trading options. Larry is also a professional fund manager who trades options for private investors. He is also the co-host of a syndicated radio show called the same name as his company, Investor Schooling Live. The show is broadcast live on Sundays in Philadelphia. Larry is the full-time host of Money Chat Now, airing on WWDB radio every day at 7:30 a.m. He is also the author of the upcoming book, Money Hacks, because everything you think you know about money, say it with me, Larry,
is absolutely wrong.
Is absolutely wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to my guest for real, live right now, not just practice in the studio.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me out there? Can you hear me,
Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Just such a pleasure to have you on our show, and we're going to be meeting each other in person in a few weeks. But give us a few words. A lot of things shape who we are, who we become. How did Larry Steinhouse become Larry Steinhouse?
Wow, so that's a loaded question, right? Because there was the Larry Steinhouse when I was a kid. There was the Larry Steinhouse, in my 30s, and there's the Larry Steinhouse now. The Larry Steinhouse now became the Larry Steinhouse now. You ready for this? I'll tell you an interesting point. There was a point, and I don't know, it's probably about 6 or 7 years ago, that I gave myself permission to be who I am. So you
say that again. Say that again. Wow, we get wisdom nugget like right off the bat. Really, that's so powerful. But would you repeat that?
I gave myself permission to be who I am.
Wow.
So I have a very abrasive way of doing business. I have a very abrasive way with helping people, with coaching people. I'm right in their face, right? And it was a few years ago, maybe again 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever it might have been, where everybody's like, Larry, you really shouldn't talk to people that way. You really shouldn't, tell people, you just really shouldn't tell that guy he's a loser. You really shouldn't tell that guy, he should get off his ass and go do some work. And I'm thinking, I wonder if these guys are right. Maybe I should be nicer. And then one day I actually met somebody who I respected, and he was doing a speech on it. And he I mean, you go see speakers, and every once in a while that speaker just ingrains something in your head, right?
Yeah.
And his speech was, he called himself an insultant, so you can be a resultant.
An insultant.
An insultant, so you could be a resultant, right? And then I spoke to him afterwards, and I started talking to him. I said, you and I must have the same style. And we started talking, and we turned out the exact same style. And I said, look, everybody's been telling me I should calm down. He goes, don't. He goes, you want to know when I got my best results? He got his best results when he started insulting people and telling them the reality of what's really going on in their life. Yeah, most people, I want to be a millionaire. Why? And it's funny, ask somebody why they want to be a millionaire. This is great. Anybody online? Tell me why you want to be a millionaire. I already know the answer. I don't know.
Put a message in the chat, and let's make this interactive. If you're watching, put in the chat. Why, if you want to be a millionaire, if that's a dream, a passion, a goal for you, the question is, why do you want to be a millionaire?
Yeah, you ready? Here's some of the answers. You ready? Here's some of the answers. Well, I want to help. I want to have an orphanage. I want to open up a place where cats and dogs can live. Blah, blah. I mean, the stuff that people say just makes me laugh, because none of these things need money. Everything that they want to do doesn't need money. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, if it really does need money and they really want to do it, guess what's going to happen?
What?
The money's going to come. So the first mistake that people are making is they're trying to make money before they have a desire of what to do with the money. I actually have an exercise in my book where I teach people how to take $1 million and spend it. And I do this exercise live, often in a class or when I do speeches. And I can't get anyone to figure out what to spend $1 million on. Now, I know everybody in the audience just went, I know what I would spend the money on. No, you don't.
We have one response, or I see one of the responses of why somebody wants to become a millionaire. Our friend Pete says financial stability and increase my cash flow.
I want financial security and I want to increase my cash flow. Oh, that's so sweet, Pete. Did you get that from a virtual signaling sign, or did you make that crap up just now? What the hell is financial stability? It's amazing, right? So here's the funny part, right? And I can't have the interview with him right now. I'd love to have him online.
Sure.
But here's the thing. I say, okay, Pete, what do you want to do with your financial stability? And he's going to say, well, I want to be able, he may say anything. It varies. The answers are vary, but they're all the same. I want to quit my job. And then I'm like, okay, what would you do? I'd go on vacations. Where would you go? I don't know. Then it would go to the next one. It would be, I want to be able to make sure I pay my bills. This is my favorite. I want to be able to make sure that I can pay my bills all the time, go on a vacation or 2 a year, and put my kids in whatever the school they want to put them in. And I go, okay, do you do that now? And they go, yeah. So then you're already financially stable. Pete's probably sitting there going, crap, he's right. Crap, he's right. Crap, he's right. Right. And that's the reality is people are always looking for what they already have instead of looking for something new. I don't need $1 million. I need to have all the things I want. And then when I find what I want, or when I want to buy something, he's wrong. He's got a plan. Can you bring him on? I would love to have him bring him on and just slam him. I'd have so much fun with this guy.
Well, you're gonna be somewhat nice.
Oh, I'm never nice. I already told you that.
Pete, respond in the chat if you are open to coming on the stream.
I
think Pete just went and got a sandwich.
I think Pete hung up. He said, "I'm not watching this anymore."
Pete, do you want to join us?
So anyway,
this is great. He said this is great.
He's in the middle of editing videos. Wait, you ready? Hey, Christoff, hey, you ready, Christoff? Here you go.
Yes.
This is Pete. I would love to learn how to have financial stability and increase my cash flow, but I'm in the middle of editing videos while I'm watching this, and I can't stop doing my job for 5 minutes to get a free consultation with a guy who charges thousands of dollars for a consultation. So, Pete, enjoy editing your videos. And by the way, if you're a really good editor, I'm sure you can make a good, $45 an hour maybe doing that. And that might, get you some kind of financial stability. But if you want to have real financial stability, see what's happening, right?
Yes.
This is why when I gave myself permission to be who I am, I got more results. So Pete says, now give me 3 minutes. So he probably has to go brush his hair and maybe put on some makeup so he can look good on the screen, and we'll see what happens.
We're reeling him in, and
another coach would go, oh, Pete, you want financial stability? Let's go all the way back to the top one. You want financial stability? You should buy some real estate. Oh, you should just do some things that make you financially stable. No, I'm going to tell you the truth, Pete. And that's the same thing I'm doing with everyone.
Giving yourself permission to be who you are. And before we came on, we joined actually live. We had a practice broadcast.
Right.
And you were talking about another term that people have, or you have adopted for yourself.
Well, there's a couple of them.
Okay.
But so Fred Pacimo, and I know you know Fred Pacimo. Yes. He called me a compassionate asshole, and it was one of the funniest.
And
things
how did you
ever
feel?
Heard.
How did you feel when he said that?
I actually shook his hand and said, "Thank you. I think that's a great definition."
So it's interesting because Larry he's already shown, he's not holding anything back. He's already insulted one of my guests who is a good friend of mine. And I don't know if we're going to be friends. No, I'm kidding. But you give yourself permission to be who you are. And you say, I'm in their face. This is the style. This is my manner. This is my way of helping people. So it doesn't come from the word. Fred Pacimo coined the term compassionate asshole. It's not asshole. It's compassionate.
Absolutely.
Because somebody with Larry, who has on the outside an abrasive or a rough demeanor, etc. Okay, Pete, I'll send you the invite in a second. But it comes from a place of what? Of service, I believe.
Absolutely true.
It's because I know some stuff. I said it in the bio. I read his bio. He knows his stuff. He's not full of crap. He's not telling you, well, here's my opinion. Here's what I think. He spent years, whether traditionally or untraditionally or self-taught or whatever, he knows his stuff. And when somebody has not just a passion, but knowledge and experience that creates results, and then they want to share it to the world and get paid for it, because you should get paid for your gift, for your service.
Hey, I'm a capitalist.
And you're a capitalist. That's the place where it's coming from. The methodology, it's not for everybody. Everybody's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people will meet Larry, they'll forget the word compassionate.
Of course.
And they'll just put in the other word.
Absolutely.
Oh, Larry is. But when you understand that he's doing it and sharing it because he cares, because probably he doesn't want you to struggle or to go through the things that either he has in the past or that he has seen other people struggle and going through obstacles and making stupid mistakes. Am I right? Am I sort of on track?
You are absolutely right. So I have been called arrogant, right? And I'll tell you a funny story, Christoff. When somebody calls me arrogant, I consider it a compliment. That's how arrogant I really am.
Absolutely. Pete, I am going to send you the link.
Let's get Pete on the line. Let's do a free coaching session for Pete.
While I do that, Larry, I'm going to give you the solo stage for like 2 minutes.
To do what? What do you want me to talk about?
You're going to give us some insights. Here.
Okay. At least give me a topic. Come on now. You're the speaking.
Yes,
I
am.
Speaker mentor, right? You're supposed to throw a lob out and say, "Here, talk about this."
What is one of the biggest failures or incorrect mindsets not in your opinion, but from your knowledge and understanding, that most entrepreneurs are faced with? Or put it even more basic, why are there so many broke entrepreneurs?
Why are there so many broke entrepreneurs? All right, I got a good answer to that. Click me off, or on, or whatever, however you do it. All right, you ready?
Yes.
So here's the deal. The biggest problem that entrepreneurs have is they've heard this really bad. You got you on, not me, by the way. There we go. They've got this misconception that they've heard somebody say, "Follow your passion and the money will come." Oh, that's so sweet, isn't it? It's a bunch of shit. Okay. Following your passion, the money will come. That's not the reality. Make sure you have money to feed your passion. So come up with an idea, a thought, something that makes money that will feed your passion. Now, my passion happens to be helping other people make more money. So it's an easy one for me to follow my passion because I just keep learning new things and keep teaching people new things. That's my passion. Teaching you, Pete, or teaching you, whoever it is you're watching this or listening, how to make more money, how to learn how to make more money, how to pay less taxes. That's my passion. I really enjoy it. I also enjoy having fun speaking. So I speak at different events. I also have a radio show. So I'm on the radio. I have a show that I do, Money Chat Now. I do a show every day. So if you're either on Facebook or if you're in the Philadelphia area, you can actually hear it on the radio. But if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, you can also watch this show every day. And I have a passion for it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's something that I wake up at 4:00 in the morning every morning to do. I write this show for 2 hours, and then I do the show live every single day at 7:30. So just connect to me on Facebook on Money Chat Now, and you can do that. So I just have fun with it, right? Now, what I said before is make money to create your passion. Sometimes your passion doesn't make any money. Feeding the homeless, it might be your passion. How do you make money feeding the homeless? Now, I could come up with some ways to do that, and that's the reality. But if you want to feed the homeless, just feed the homeless. Go make enough money doing something else, anything else, selling widgets online if you want to. Even if you want to have your full-time job, have your full-time job. That's fine. But go do your job. Go do what you do, and then use that to feed your passion. Now, if you get really, really lucky after you're feeding your passion for a while and your passion turns into a full-time income, fantastic. And I tell this to people all the time, and most people don't believe me. Investor schooling is a big deal. I mean, in Philadelphia area, it's a big deal. We got several billboards. We're on the radio. We're on advertising. Somebody said I read tax laws for fun. It's actually true, right? So we're a big deal in the Philadelphia area. I mean, we're a big deal, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, if I was to close investor schooling tomorrow, I would make probably $500,000 a year more money than I make now. Investor schooling is a financial drain to me. It's not something that I do to make $1 million. I hope to. Make millions of dollars, I should say. I hope to one day. And even if I don't, it's not as important to me as knowing that I get a guy who comes into my class who has never a great example. Guy never bought any other real estate in his life besides the house he lives in. He bought 2 houses his entire life. One that he used to live in. Then he moved into this house about 10 years ago, and he lives there. Comes into my office, and a year later, he now owns 2 mobile home parks.
Wow! Wow!
To me, that's fascinating. He also lends money to other people. I mean, the guy wasn't rich when he came in. He had a couple maybe $100,000, $200,000 to his name. Now he owns 2 mobile home parks. He gets money. He lends money to other people. He makes money in stock options. I mean, this is just a hit. When I get these people who come into my class and I can convert them into millionaires, or even if not even millionaires, just having them follow their passion or become what they always wanted to do, or stop being bored.
And
that's what it's all about.
And stop being a broke entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, well, stop being a broke entrepreneur. But you could be you could be an entrepreneur, you can be a broke entrepreneur and still enjoy it. I mean, look, honestly, like I said before, investor schooling, believe it or not, I mean, people don't believe me when I tell them because it was such a big deal. It doesn't make that much money for me. It's just really a lot of fun.
Well, you do such an amazing service. I've met virtually a number of people that have gone through your program, and it is true. People speak so highly of Larry and what you do for your community, and we're just excited to have you here today and to get to know you even more. Guess what, friends? We do have Pete on the line.
All right, let's get Pete on.
Let's bring Pete in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Pete Gustis. Pete actually joined us in Orlando at our Ultimate Speaker Competition. We're going to talk about Ultimate Speaker Competition in a moment. Okay. But Pete, welcome to the show. Thank you for being brave to embrace.
The first thing I got to ask you is, do I have permission to insult the hell out of you?
Yes.
Okay. Because that was the only thing I started doing was sometimes I would start to talk to people and I'd see them start to cry, and I'm like, you know what? maybe I should have at least warned them first. You probably had pre-warning anyway, just from the conversation. But all right, so here's the deal. So we started out, and you said over here that I said financial stability and increase your cash flow. So let me ask you a question. What to you is financial stability?
Having enough money to spend and do the things you want to do without having to worry about writing the checks and paying the bills.
Great. I know I said this before, but I'll continue down the path. Okay, what is something that you want to do right now that you're not doing?
Well, I want to complete a real estate investment project I have. I'm looking at a building which could be probably 100 to maybe 200 units.
Okay, hold on. Let's roll it back.
Yes.
Where is this building supposed to be?
Oh, it's already there. It's an old warehouse in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so have you spoken to the owner?
I own the building.
You own the building. Good for you. At least that's a good start. Okay, so how long have you owned the building?
About 4 years.
Okay, great. And how did you buy it?
How
did you come across it?
Privately financed.
Great. So now it's making no money, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you're paying every month. You're paying out on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, this is not an insult. This is really reality. I don't know if I would have bought a building that I'm paying out every month that I was going to make money that for 4 years I'm still not making any money on, because it's freaking draining you, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. But I'm always looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. Recently, they have grant programs that pay 75% for the type of project that I'm looking at. So I'm just started again looking for investors.
All right, slow down a second, because I'm going to go two directions here for you. All right, we kind of went off your topic. I'm going to go into just helping you with this building, because I'm so impressed by the fact that you own this building that I'd rather talk about that than talk about the rest of it. All right, so this building, if you were to continue this building with that not being built and continue, would it become a serious financial drain?
Yes, because I'm paying for it monthly.
Okay, all right. So here's a real suggestion. Now, you bought this building 4 years ago. You mind telling me what you paid for it? You mind telling everybody what you paid for it?
Oh no, $120,000.
Okay, what could you sell it for today?
That's a tough question. It's in disrepair. A couple years ago, I was offered about $1 million with two.
Oh man! Oh, so you would have made $800,000 plus, right?
Maybe
by not
more.
even lifting a finger.
Maybe more, but
not even lifting a finger.
Yeah, maybe
that would have been a lot of financial security, by the way.
Well, both the people actually told me they asked me what I wanted for the building when I turned down their price, and I told them I wasn't going to sell it. But when you look at the opportunity I have right now, it's much better than if I would have cashed out then. And I realized that the potential of the building is more than $1 million,
Okay. So everything you're telling me right now, this has nothing to do with you wanting financial stability and increasing your cash flow. This is an ego-driven purchase. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with ego-driven. I'm a big ego guy. So what you're doing here is really freaking cool, because you're like, hey, I'm going to grab this bull by the horns and I'm going to tackle it. So you could do one thing. You could do one of three things, right? One would be the stupid one, would be just abandon the building and give it back to the lender, which was the dumbest thing to do. You could sell it, or you could keep moving forward. So you've decided to keep moving forward, which is 100% ego, which is fantastic. Again, I mean, you would be one of my favorite students, because we'd be pushing you along the whole way. So again, it has nothing to do with financial stability. I love the fact that, you think it's financial stability. It's nothing to do with financial stability. It's when it's done, you're going to take a picture and go, look what I freaking did. And you're going to put that, see those pictures behind him on the wall back there? There's going to be a gigantic picture of this building behind him. And it's going to be there for until he's 80. And he's going to say, either if he didn't even own a building anymore, this is a building I did once. And that's what he's all about. That has nothing to do with financial security. But let me see real quick. I mean, we got a few minutes. Let me see if I can help
we have
you,
time, of course.
Push you on your path to getting this building to be what you want it to do. All right. So first question, have you actually spoken to an architect yet?
Actually, I already have some prints, but I haven't spoken to an architect about designing out the current project.
All right. So I'm a little concerned that you may be sitting on this building way too long, and it's going to break you. Yeah. So here's where I really want you to forget about what I'm going to tell you. Forget about moving down the project. I really want you to sit down. And are you married?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
The grant program, by the way, just came available like 2 weeks ago.
I understand, but the grant program is not the issue here.
I understand.
The grant program, because I'm going to tell you right now, If you have a project and you can do it, the money's going to come. It doesn't matter. I teach this all the time. If you have something that's valuable, getting the money is the easy part. You may need to learn how to structure it, and I can certainly help you with that. Teach you how to build a fund to structure it. That's the easy part. But until you actually know exactly what you want to do and that you're going to do it and realize the cost, and I'm not talking about the cost to just build it, but the cost to just hold it until you're ready to do it, that's very expensive. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to actually take an hour of time doing nothing, not editing videos, and say, look, I could sell this building for maybe it's $1 million. I don't even care. 800,000, $1 million, $2 million. I don't care. I could sell it right now. I can get a hell of a check, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it come hell or high water. And if you can do it come hell or high water on Tuesday, because not Monday, everything's closed. On Tuesday, you're going to start calling around to architects and say, I need an architect to do this building. And he's going to say, well, I need a $10,000 down payment. And you're going to negotiate the down payment if you have to. I don't care, but you're going to say, fine, you're hired, and start. Then I want you to start actually talking to the township, and I want you to hire an attorney to talk to the township, or you can try to talk to the township yourself. Because I'm kind of on the fence whether you actually spoke to the township yet and asked them if you could do exactly what you want to do. Did you?
I didn't, but they already approved 500 apartments in different similar buildings. But my building's actually larger than all the buildings they recently approved.
So before you bought this building, you didn't even do that. I would have done that, especially 4 years ago when things weren't as great as they are right now. And things are going to go back there. So you better make this decision quickly. So if you think this building's worth $1 million, it's not going to be worth $1 million 2 years from now. It's going to be worth 300,000 2 years from now. Just know that. But if you're going to turn it into this massive project, it doesn't matter because it's an ego-driven project, number one. And number two, when it comes out of the other side of the recession, it'll be worth not billions, but multi-millions. So it'll be a great play, but you just have to decide that this is what Pete is. Pete is this building. Remember before we talked, I said, it's funny because, finance your passion, make enough money to finance your passion. Well, I hate to tell you that this building is your passion or will become your passion. You will do nothing else but this building. And you will have horrible days, you'll have great days, but you'll do nothing but this building. And when you make that decision, like me, I'm the money guy, I'm the investor schooling guy, I'm the guy on the radio, but all of it drives to one thing. I want to help people make more money. That's all I want to do. I make the joke that I work 80 hours a week so you don't have to work 40 hours a week. That's what I tell people. And it's insane because it's really what I do. But that's my passion. That's who I am. And it's become me. That's how people know me. That's why people know that you got people over there saying good things about me. And I always appreciate that. Thank you. I always appreciate when somebody compliments me. So again, you decide if this is for you, you're going to do it. But if you decide it's not for you, I want you on Tuesday, I want you to put this building on the market immediately. I mean immediately. And then I want you to take pictures of the check that you made. Because your ego will still be pretty strong when you hold up a check that says $800,000. Okay, you got it.
Yes.
So you win either way. Don't try to piss in the wind if you can't. You get it?
Yeah.
Well, good for you, man. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
And reach out to me. By the way, if you want to reach out to me or anybody else wants to reach out to me, they can actually reach out to me by going to contactlarry.com. Contactlarry.com. I don't know if you'll be able to scan it. See if you can scan that because I think my name's in the way. But if it scans, great. But it's contactlarry.com and that'll scan it and you can scan it right into your phone. It'll take you to a page where you can contact me. You can make an appointment with me if you want to on there as well. Did it work? I think because my name's in the way.
And if not, Pete, I will connect you to after the show.
Let me try this real quick. Let's see if this will work.
Pete,
how about that? There you go. Try it now. Didn't work the first time.
There's the QR code for you. Try it again, Pete.
Yeah.
Hold on. I should have had my Apple. I actually have two phones. The Apple automatically scans. The Android doesn't. I have to use a barcode.
Well, the Android, right? You have to go to the camera or something, right?
Yep. Yeah, you have to go to a barcode scanner.
Well, either way, you can just type in contactlarry.com. You just have to type in the URL because you can't search for it. You have to type in. See if it works now.
I got a photo of it. I'll be able to scan it.
Beautiful. All right, let me put my name and my face back up. Hold on a second, and then Christoff and I will continue. Are you going to the speaking competition?
I'm going to make a couple days. I can't promise all 3 because I have a busy schedule, but
Well, I'm looking forward to
I'm
meeting
definitely planning on 1 to 3 days for sure.
you. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Where do you live?
Or 1 to 2 days, excuse me. Yes. Thank you.
You live
I
near
appreciate
Reading?
it, Larry.
You live near Reading?
Yes. Yeah. West
Okay,
Reading,
cool.
technically.
Cool.
I'm in Philly every once
Oh,
in a
okay.
while too.
Yeah, so
We have
I'm
6
in Bucks
offices.
County. I'm the other way. I'm closer to New Jersey. But yeah, I look forward to meeting you again. If you want to reach out. You want to take a free class? Come take a free class. That'd be awesome, man. I'd love to see you, man. And I
Sounds
appreciate
good.
you coming on. And I appreciate you having that conversation with me. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate your time also.
You got it, man. Good luck.
Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you, my friend.
See ya.
Wow. Look at this, friends. Yeah, I had no clue that we're going to be getting free consultation with Larry. Like, no, this is really great. You know, and you've got to be willing to step out. You know, so many times, you know, Pete was willing to put his question in the chat, and then when Larry called him out and said, "You're a knucklehead," or, you know, in so many words, and Pete said, "Okay, well, hold on, I will come on." And Pete, I don't know how much that advice was worth, but I tell you, it's worth more than, you know, a sandwich, right? I mean, Larry's
it was
charges
worth more than him editing his videos, right?
more than editing videos, absolutely. So let's talk about some other things, okay? We want to get to know you even more. Are you open to that?
Absolutely.
Top Gun.
I haven't seen it yet.
But did you see the original?
Yeah, I saw the original. Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, some of it.
Maverick, Goose, or Iceman?
Oh, I mean, obviously Maverick, but
Okay.
I think that there's nobody above him. And if there was, I would be that person. You know what I mean? So if I got to take that choice, you know, I mean, it's not a great comparison.
Okay. What is your superpower, Larry?
Pissing people off enough so that I can help them.
Pissing people off so that you can help them.
Yes.
When did you discover your superpower?
So I'm trying to remember if I said this in this one or the pre one, but the pre one. But 8 years ago, you know, I was watching some guy who let me know that I could be who I want to be. So when I discovered that I could be who I want to be, I decided that I'm going to be who I want to be, and that's who I am. You know, people would say, like, and I think it was in this one already that I told the story already. So that when I was insulting people, you know, and really bringing out of them what the reality is, so other people said that's not a great coaching style, and I said it's a fantastic coaching style, fantastic. Oh yeah, I was just looking to see what Pete wrote. He's thanking me, and that's awesome, man. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
so I just let people know how I feel. I give people the reality, the truth. Like Pete, you know, his thing, just real quick. Remember, he wanted financial stability. It turned out that he really didn't want financial stability. His building was all about ego, and I think that's freaking awesome. By the way, and by the way, I teach people. But I'm going to ask you, hey, Christoff, do you think you're selfish?
I'm learning to become more selfish.
Good. You're finally understanding. So everybody out there, I'm going to give you a story of the most selfish thing, I've ever done. You ready for this, Christoff? All right, everybody listening, I want you to start to listen to this story because this is the most selfish thing I've ever done. So I was in Miami, and I don't know, Christoff, you ever been to Miami?
Love Miami, absolutely.
Okay, so
I actually have clients in Miami.
So you know, in Christoff, they have that they have those the tram that goes around Miami that takes you from one place to another. It's it's really cool. It's actually like a high line. You know, the rails are high in the air, and it's a tram car. It's, I don't know, what would you say it was? Maybe 10 by 4 feet. The tram car that comes by, right? And it comes by every 15 minutes, and there's a couple of them, and they're electronically run. There's no drivers on them or anything, right? And I'm going to a conference that night, and at the time, you see now I wear glasses. But at the time, it was right before I was wearing glasses, so everybody could relate to this too. Right before you start wearing glasses, you don't want anybody, you don't want to admit you're getting old, so you get those, the readers. Is that a reader?
Walgreens.
Yeah, and what'd you pay for? Like $3, $10, right? So
Right, 'cause they're not real glasses, right? So I'm not
yeah,
acknowledging
right,
it. I'm not
right,
embracing it.
exactly.
I don't need
you only got
glasses.
yeah, you only need them when you read, right? So your arms don't get long enough is what the old guys like me say, right? My arms don't get long enough. So I take my glass and I'm wearing a suit and I take my glass and I put them on the inside of my pocket because I know I'm going to need to read something when I get to this conference. It's a pretty big deal. It's like 200 people going to be there. I'm not speaking there, but I'm listening to speakers, and and again, it's a pretty big deal. So I walk to the tram station. I get onto the platform. The doors open. I get in. Right. The very next stop, the doors open, and this guy gets in, and I mean, clearly homeless. He's got a shopping cart in front of him. His jacket's all ripped up. He's got fingers missing in his gloves, and and I mean, you could almost smell him as I describe him. You know what I mean? Sure. I mean, he's scruffy. His hair is unkept, and I mean, the guy, most likely everything the guy owned in his entire life was in this shopping cart. He probably sleeps in the streets, and I have no idea where he was going, but he got on a tram. Everybody who was on that side of the tram moved to the other side. Now, I just happened to be standing in front, across from him. I didn't move. I just every once in a while looked up at him, and then it comes to the next stop. Doors open. A couple people get in. They go to the other side of the train. I'm still staying on that side. I'm still looking at the guy, and then then all of a sudden I noticed he pulls out a book, and the book is tattered. It's ripped up, and the cover's falling off, and and he actually grabs out of his shopping cart. He grabs these glasses, and then the glasses are broken, and one of the lenses has got tape on it, and one of the ears or whatever the hell you want to call them, is broken off, and he's barely balancing the glasses like this with one hand and holding the book like this. And I could see this guy's like, there's no way this guy can read this book with these glasses. So then the train stops again. The doors open, and it's my stop. I reach into my pocket. I pull out my glasses. I hand it to him, and I walk off the train. Now, remember, what did I say? This was the most selfish thing I've ever done.
Wow.
Now, could you understand why that was so selfish?
Because you wanted to alleviate yourself of the uncomfortable feeling of watching this man in his struggle.
I've already alleviated myself. I was walking out the door.
Because you wanted to have your ego massaged so that you can tell this amazing story on the It's Your Time to Shine podcast
this is
years later.
So interesting about that. I actually didn't start telling that story until about 7 years after it happened, because I just did it, and it was for me only. But I started telling the story because I wanted to start telling the story about how you should be selfish. So I'm using the story to teach people to be selfish. So assuming that I didn't have to do that anymore, I didn't have to tell the story, why was it so selfish?
Enlighten us.
Because could you imagine how I felt as I got off the tram?
Yeah.
How did I feel?
You felt that you did good, that you blessed this person, that you made a difference, even for a moment. You did something that this person was not able to reciprocate. They were not even given a moment to say thank you because what? And that's coming back to what we were talking about at the beginning. And I asked you about your superpower. And you talked about being a compassionate asshole. I don't usually like saying the word asshole, but I'm quoting Larry Steinhouse. But in that, we are big believers in sharing our gifts, this ultimate speaker competition, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But our logo, our tagline, but it really embodies our mission, is empowering speakers to share their greatness. And to me, being a speaker is a gift. It is a calling. And if somebody knows or feels that they're meant to speak, I say it's not a question. It's not a idea of should I not. If we don't share our gifts, we are cheating the world. We are cheating people who are meant to receive benefit and value from us. If you know, Larry, that you are brilliant at helping people figure out and get there, to quote Grant Cardone, I don't know if you love him or hate him, doesn't matter, but to get your money right, if that is your superpower, and you just mentioned investor schooling isn't the biggest money maker for you, you could be spending that time doing other things. But if you are not sharing that knowledge, that experience, that expertise that you know is meant to bless others, then you are doing a disservice. All of you listening out there, and I don't even know why we say out there, in here, here, out, whatever. We all have, to quote Les Brown, I've been blessed to have spent a number of occasions with him, share the stage with him, etc. And he says this, and I quote, I don't know you. So those who are watching, listening, I don't know you, but I know something about you. I know that you have gifts and talents and abilities that only you are meant to bring to the world. You have greatness within you. And as I said, if we don't share, if we don't follow the path, and yes, that is being, if I'm, when I realized that I'm a speaker and a speaker coach, I embraced it. But for a long time, I said, no, I'm not a speaker coach. I'm just a producer of this event. I'm just a host of this event. I'm just an MC. And yet, on the first day of the Ultimate Speaker Competition, what do? I coach, I teach, I train about how to be more effective and impactful as a speaker. But I was comparing myself to these other people. I'm not like Les Brown. I'm not as good as Les Brown. I'm not as good as fill in the blank, Tony Robbins, whomever. But it's not about comparison. It's about acknowledging and accepting, and as you said at the top, giving yourself permission to be who you are. With all of your flaws, or, well, but I'm not this yet. It doesn't matter if you're not whatever yet. You are where you are, and you just need to walk into it. This is why when people are considering joining the Ultimate Speaker Competition, they're excited, they're inspired, but then they're like, oh, but, and then there comes all the buts and all of the obstacles or mental objections or whatever the case may be. And you can tell I get passionate about this, because I was just at an event with the gentleman that I mentioned to you on the phone the other day, Larry, David Fagan, an event called PubCon, Publishing and Publicity Conference. And I don't recall who it was, but one of the days at the event, somebody said this from the stage. Our problem is we think we have time. We think we have time. Look, I'm in my 50s. I intend to live till I'm at least 100 years old. So I've got a good 40 plus years. I'm just getting started. I don't know though, right? If I don't do it now, whatever that it is, if you don't do it now, what are you waiting for? There are people waiting for you. This is everybody who's listening. And yes, I may seem stern and direct about it, but that is also being selfish, because that is also one of my gifts, is to push people, to encourage, to motivate, to inspire, to empower you to get off your butt, to step into your greatness and stop holding it inside, right? Why did you start the investor schooling, Larry?
So I'll tell you the story of investor schooling. The story of investor schooling is pretty interesting. So the story of investor schooling is this. So, I if you want to call it retired, I just didn't need to work anymore. So I didn't work anymore, right? Because I had so many I had enough real estate that was paying my bills. I was doing stock options. So I wanted to go buy a new Corvette. I would just, do a couple of stock options trades and buy a Corvette. So that was my life. But, what really ended up happening was, after 3 months of being totally bored. I mean, how much Dr. Phil can you actually freaking watch, right? So after being totally bored, I realized that everybody else went to work during the day and I had nobody to talk to, so so just so happened that somebody called me up and they said, hey, listen, I hear you're killing it in real estate. Can you teach me something? And I'm like, sure. And down the road, there's this Dunkin' Donuts. I said, meet me at the Dunkin' Donuts and buy me a cup of coffee. And I'll tell you everything I can tell you to get started in real estate. Right. So sure enough, we have a hour conversation, whatever. And I called the guy up a week later. I said, so what did you do? Well, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you wasted my time for an hour. Then at the same time, I was like, well, at least I wasn't watching Dr. Phil. And then a week later, or a couple of weeks later, whatever, somebody else calls me and they say, hey, I hear you're killing it in stock options. Can you teach me something? I'm like, sure. So I meet them at where? Dunkin' Donuts once again, right? And I start talking to them. I start to tell them. And a week later, I call them up and I said, hey, did you do anything? And they said, no, they didn't do anything.
Not yet. I'm still thinking about it.
I'm still thinking about it. Right, exactly, right. So meanwhile, I buy this building, and it's funny. It's an office building. It's an office condo, I should say, 2,500 square foot office condo. I buy this condo, and I buy it with seller financing, 0% interest, and it was great. It was a great play. I got the building cheap. I pay $1,000 a month for it, plus taxes and association fees. So after that, comes to about $1,900 a month, and maybe about $2,300 a month when you include the taxes, right? And the going rent at the time was $3,800 for the building. So I'm like, all right, I put it up for $3,800. I figure I'm going to kill it. Nobody rents it. I lower the price to $3,600, $3,400, $2,000, $3,000, $2,500, $1,600. I still can't rent the building. Meanwhile, somebody else calls me up and they said to me, hey, can you teach me a little bit about real estate? And I said, sure. And the first thing I do is I say, listen, before we get started, I will teach you and I will spend some time with you teaching you real estate, and I will charge you this much money for 6 months coaching program. The guy immediately takes out his checkbook and writes me a check. A week later, I call him up. I said, hey, did you do anything I told you? He goes, yes, he did. So I realized that people have to pay attention. Now I started getting, there you go, right? Now I started getting, a half dozen coaching students, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I got this building. Instead of coaching these people one-on-one, I got this building that I can't rent anyway. When I just grab people, put a bunch of chairs in there, tables in there, and I cleaned up the building. I made it really, look really nice. I put a bunch of tables and chairs in there, and I started doing coaching programs. And next thing you know, I fill that building up once a week. We fill it up with people who come and they learn about real estate, and they learn about stock market, and they learn about taxes. And at the same time, I'm learning taxes. I'm learning things. It's funny. Somebody said, who was it before? Somebody said, I read tax laws for fun. The funny part is actually is true. and it is. It's fun. I actually looked up this stuff. And then I find out the reality and the legality, because there's always two things. And I started teaching it. And the next thing you know, I build an audience. If you if you look up the two words, investor schooling, and look up Google, we have 165 5-star Google reviews. Wow. Right? We actually have one-star Google review, which is the funniest one. I challenge everyone. This is what I want you to do. It's the best. Go there. Go to the Google reviews and look for the 1-star review, because it happens to be my favorite review. And it's very funny. You'll understand why when you see what he says. And he says very few words. He says, don't waste your money. And that's what he says. And my response to that is what you need to read. So go to Investor Schooling, go to Google Reviews, Investor Schooling, and read this guy's 1-star review, the only 1-star review, and read my response. And when you read my response, you will die laughing, because it's that good.
I mentioned him earlier. A very well-known person says, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right.
So it's interesting that you say that too. So I have a goal. You ready? I have a goal. I want 1,000 haters. 1,000 haters. Yes.
Because that would be about 1%. That means that
it's not about 1. It's probably about 20%. But yeah.
Okay.
That means I would have 4,000, at least 4,000 screaming, raving fans.
Yes.
Unless you're Trump, then it's 50-50.
True. What inspires you?
What inspires me to do what?
Just what inspires you every day? I don't know. What inspires?
It's a weird question, because inspires me. I don't know. I just want to do something. I want to make a difference. That's the virtue signaling answer. But if you ask me specifically what inspires me to do this or what inspires me to do that, I can answer. I just don't know.
All right. Well, here, let's talk about, folks. We have the Ultimate Speaker Competition coming up in Philadelphia, July 22 to 24. Larry is an accomplished speaker, an accomplished author, a coach, a trainer. He
radio host.
radio host, broadcaster, podcaster, investor, retired, doesn't need to work. Why would you join us at the Ultimate Speaker Competition?
So that's a really good question. You know why? And I'm going to tell you the answer. Because I was being extremely selfish. You want to know why I was being selfish?
In what way?
Because Gordon is a good friend of mine. He connected me to you. I liked you. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to this thing just to see what I can do to make a difference, to see if I can make Christoff make a difference, or help Christoff make a difference. That's the real reason.
Wow. And do you think we'll be successful in doing that?
Well, I mean, I think you have some challenges, and we've spoken about that before. I think you have some challenges, but I think that you have the drive and the passion. So, Christoff has become the ultimate speaking. Is it? I keep saying, is it contest
Ultimate
or competition?
Speaker. Yeah.
Was it competition?
Yes. Ultimate
Yeah, I'm
Speaker
sorry. I keep calling it contest, but you have become the ultimate speaking competition, which is phenomenal. That's what you need to be. So if everyone knows that this is what you are and this is who you are, you can help but succeed. It doesn't mean that Philadelphia is going to succeed. I mean, it'll have its challenges. It may be great. It may be okay. It may be the best or the worst one you've done, or maybe somewhere in the middle. It really doesn't matter. But if you continue with this passion and continue doing this, you will kill it. Now, and again, I know what you charge, so there's no freaking possible way that you've quit your job or whatever it is that you were making money on before to continue doing this. You have to be making another income. So what I said before, or real earlier, was don't feed. Don't think your passion is going to cover your bills.
Sure.
It may one day, but right now you've got to continue working to feed your passion. So the other thing that's really cool about that is, I don't want to get into what you do, but if you had times like, before you started this thing and you hated going to work, and there were those days where you hated going to work, every day that you go to work and you hate going to work, just go, I'm feeding my passion. Because I have to go to this crummy job, and again, I don't know if you like your job, it doesn't matter. But because I have to go to this crummy job, there's somebody who is going to be a better speaker, and that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm sacrificing for this. That's why I do investor schooling, because I have to work 80 hours a week because I want to teach somebody. I want somebody to not have to work 40 hours a week, because that's my passion.
And that's the definition of passion. Passion is not just something you love. It is what you are willing to sacrifice for.
Well, yes and no, but so here's the weird part. I don't even believe in sacrifice. I don't believe I'm sacrificing anything. I believe I'm enjoying my life the way I want to enjoy it. I've designed my life to do this.
But you are, because you are putting time and energy into something that is not only for you.
So who said that's a sacrifice?
Well,
I mean, at best, it's a compromise, but it's not a sacrifice.
Larry loves being contrary.
No, it's not contrary. It's because people use words, and when they use these words, they don't understand that these words are insulting words. So I sacrificed for my marriage. No, you didn't. You had a passion to stay married to the person you stayed married with. You didn't sacrifice. If you sacrificed, then you're a fool. Why would you stay in a marriage that you're sacrificing for? You're not sacrificing. I mean, maybe you compromise one day and say, I'm not going to wherever the hell I'm going because I'm supposed to say, that's a compromise. That's fine. But if you're sacrificing, you're freaking miserable. Get out, right? So if one day I say that investor schooling is making me miserable, that would be the days I'm sacrificing while I'm closing it down. You know what I mean? The transition between the day that I said this is making me miserable to the day I close that, that's the only sacrifice I have, but because I have an obligation now, because it's no longer a passion, it's now an obligation, right? So you never sacrifice. You always do what you want to do. And people, I sacrificed for my children. Bull crap. You loved your children. You had some kind of a codependent relationship with them, whether it was a serious one or a non-serious one, but that's why you did it.
Wow, words of wisdom, friends. Not only about money hacks, which is the name of Larry's new book, Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse, because everything you think you know about money is wrong. And it is going to have its official release on July 19th. Go to Amazon and you or barnesandnoble.com or wherever you purchase your books, and you can pre-order it right now. Larry, I am so grateful that you have joined us today. I am looking forward to meeting you in person and for you to be gracing our stage at the Ultimate Speaker Competition. Friends, if you are a speaker, an aspiring speaker, and you are, you know, you don't have to be from the Philadelphia area, but especially if you are, it's much easier. You don't have to travel too far. You don't have to, but come and see us, message me, message Larry, and Larry will introduce you to myself. It's July 22nd to the 24th. It is, while it's called Ultimate Speaker Competition, as I mentioned to you, Larry, it's so much more than that. It really is an experience that many people have said has changed their lives, because it empowers them to really step out and begin that path or continue that path of sharing their message. Your knowledge, this is to everybody, your knowledge, your experience, what you have gone through, what you have grown through, your inspiration, your story can be a benefit to others. And if you are called to be a speaker, as one of our sponsors, Danella Burnett, says, speakers need to speak. That's the name of her company. Very simple.
I like it.
Speakers need to speak. So join us at the Ultimate Speaker Competition. Message me or message Larry. And I want to give a big shout out and thanks to our good friend, mutual friend, Gordon Burdecki, for putting the two of us together. Gordon is our co-host and the reason why we are coming to Philadelphia, and we're really looking forward to it. Larry, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your knowledge and for giving us consulting, little consulting time with Pete. And until next time, my friends, actually, I'll let Larry, last words, if you would like to say. It's your time, my friend.
You got it. Hey, I just want to thank you also for having me on. I really appreciate it. Pete, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to help you. That's always awesome. I get to leave this podcast knowing that I help somebody else. So I get a nice selfish ego feeling from that. That's pretty awesome. And of course, if you guys want to reach out to me, you can just go to contactlarry.com, contactlarry.com. You can see everything I do there. So if you want to get involved in investor schooling or whatever, it doesn't even matter. Whatever you want to do, just and you can, by the way, you can even make an appointment with me too there. So if you want to talk to me, I love to talk to people who are like Pete. You know, if you have a situation like Pete, I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Go to contactlarry.com. And thanks again, Christoff. I'm looking forward to speaking. And I promise you, if you were going to be in that audience that day, I'm going to shock and awe you.
And we can't say the title of his presentation, his talk on this broadcast.
I don't even want you to tell the title to anybody. I don't even want you to tell the title. As a matter of fact, when you call me up, I want you to say, and he will tell you what he's going to be speaking about.
Absolutely.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Christoff J Weihman. And it's your time to shine. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Cheers and God bless.